Yeah, I'd like to continue a little bit talking about American culture. I'd like to do it in terms of maybe politics because the
Mhm.
political question is a very big issue in America now. And I think it's confusing for a lot of people who come from other countries. Um, so, one thing I want to talk about is this idea called political correctness, which is something that's a little bit unique to American culture. And it may be confusing for a lot of people who come to visit. Uh, so people are very careful today about how they speak in public uh, and what we say about people from other cultures and people who are perhaps new visitors to the country and things like that. You have to be very careful about how you talk with people and the kind of words you use because it can be interpreted very negatively by people. So the best rule of thumb, I would say, is to talk to people like you would talk to anyone else you know in your country, to your friends, to your relatives, with politeness, and never judging anyone based on their color or their race or their ethnic background. Best not to even talk about those subjects with people, and or to think that you know a lot about other people's cultures. If you do that, you'll probably be okay. But there are a lot of problems in America today between cultures, between black, between white, and things like that. And it's best not to become involved in that if you're visiting the USA. Um, Another thing is actual politics in America today. It's very. I'll use the word divisive. People are very divided, not just between Republicans and Democrats, but now it's between people who supported President Trump, people who are supporting President Biden, and these now that we have a new president, these things have not changed. In fact, they're worse in some ways. So you got to be prepared when you come here to deal with a lot of political issues, and best again not to get involved, just to stay independent. If you're asked questions about your politics, it's best to say, "Well, I'm a visitor in the USA. I don't really know that much about American politics." And if you do that, people are very open. But at the same time, people like to talk about their politics. If they do, you share your opinions. But the best thing is don't get angry or don't try to don't get other people angry. It's best just to have a nice conversation about it, if possible.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's something to think about. And it's unfortunately is becoming worse in the USA for that. So I'm hoping we come together more as a people, and we don't fight about things. As you've
Yeah.
seen in the news, probably there have been some very bad things going on.
What are the differences between Democrats and Republicans?
Okay, it's a really good question because the answer has changed a lot. Traditionally, Republicans have supported corporations and big business, right? In the hope that when they become very wealthy and prosperous, that
Mhm.
money will come down, filter down to everybody in the country. And Democrats, on the other hand, have always supported workers, people who work hard for a living, not wealthy people, and they have always tried to get important civil rights for people who work. That's traditionally, but that's changed a lot, and now it's kind of, in some ways, has reversed a lot, and a lot of Republicans are supporting working people, but in a very negative way, I think. As long as they lean toward Republican ideas, then they want to help them. whereas Democrats, in not so much anymore helping the working people, but helping people that are disenfranchised. I mean, like immigrants. They're very important about immigrant rights, ethnic minorities, people who are on the edges of society, improving the rights for prisoners and things like that. So it's still a little bit, rich and poor, but that's kind of mixed and blended now a little. So traditionally, it's more to the left for Democrats and more to the right for Republicans. That's the important thing to remember. But it's also a little bit mixed up now.